Palestinian flag wearing suspect's synagogue attack leaves France reeling. In a shocking incident that has rattled France and heightened concerns about rising anti Semitism across Europe, as if those concerns were not already there, a suspected terrorist attack on the Beth Yaacov synagogue in La Grande Motte has left the nation on edge. On August 24th, an assailant wearing a Palestinian flag wrapped around his waist. So it's just it's so silly and stupid to me. Like, you're literally gonna do this with the Palestinian flag tied around your waist like a skirt? Like, so it's so stupid. Um, Attempted to set fire to the synagogue complex and caused an explosion that injured a police officer. French President Emmanuel Macron condemned it as a terrorist act, prompting a swift response from authorities that led to the arrest of the suspect and two associates. Interim Prime Minister Gabriel Attal underscored the gravity of the situation, stating, "We narrowly avoided an absolute tragedy. Once more, French Jews have been targeted and attacked because of their beliefs." Now, let me be clear. I think this is actually getting it wrong. I don't think they're being attacked for their beliefs. I don't think most of these people know what Jewish beliefs are. They're being attacked because they are Jews, not because of the beliefs of Jews. Let's get that straight.
Wait, who said that? Who said that the Jews were being attacked because of their
The
beliefs?
interim prime minister, Gabriel Attal, who
Okay, I
normally
thought a
I
rabbi would
like a
say
lot of
that.
his stuff. Um,
I thought a rabbi would say that because they want to make it about the beliefs, but no. Okay, so
no.
I don't know why they would say about their beliefs. No, it's because of their ethnicity. It's because of their blood, as they see it. Yeah, but go ahead.
hmm The incident has reignited debates about the safety of Jewish communities in France, which has the largest Jewish population in Europe and outside of Israel, besides the United States. It's like Israel, United States, France. Um, and has seen a troubling rise of extreme anti Semitic incidents. As the nation reels from this close call, authorities have increased security around Jewish places of worship while the investigation continues under the National Anti-Terrorism Prosecutor's Office, treating this case as an attempted assassination connected to a terrorist attack. So, a little bit of further detail about this is that my understanding is that this attack was supposed to be basically these attackers misunderstood the correct time of the Shabbat service, and that this attack was supposed to be on the synagogue during Shabbat when many people would be there. But instead, there were only a few people inside the complex at the time, including a rabbi, and luckily no one was harmed except for a police officer when there was like a propane tank that was put by some cars that then exploded, and so he was injured in that explosion. But basically it was only because of their apparent mistake when identifying the time when the most people would be there that we managed to or France managed to avoid potentially a much larger casualty event, which is really scary. Um, and I don't know, like, how can anyone reasonably say that this is not a movement with a major anti-Semitism problem when I cannot get over this. You literally go attack a synagogue with the flag tied around your waist. And people are like, "Oh no, this has nothing to do with hating Jews." Like, you can't be serious, right, dude? Like, I still can't get over that. I can't get over that. Um, Armin, what do you think about this?
I just want to highlight some of the comments that Dee has found for us that she highlighted on social
Oh
media.
yeah.
So this person is saying, "This is the man suspected responsible for the explosions outside a French synagogue today. Those of you who've ignored or tolerated and even encouraged nearly 11 months of calls to globalize the intifada, basically by journalists, politicians, and regular people. This is on you. Own it." So that was one comment. So this lady, Marina, was saying the suspect is in the French synagogue Our son was caught on security camera holding a Palestinian flag, and this person, wait, hold on, I'm not even highlighting the right thing. So that was the. You should have told me. Okay,
Oh,
so this
sorry.
was the original comment. And this person now, Marina, is saying the suspect is in the French synagogue. Our son was caught on security camera holding a Palestinian flag, and this person is saying, meaning it was a Jew posing as a Palestinian protester to blame the Palestinians. We know the games you Jews play. I
Bro,
don't
what the
know what.
fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what this person is trying to do, because is he trying to say, because you are, by saying we know the games you Jews play. I mean, we don't need this arson as an example to show the problem. You're showing us the problem. Like you yourself are an exhibit A of the point that is being made here. Like the point that this lady is trying to make here is made by your comment itself, even if we ignore this news. Does that, do you know, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
oh my god. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so D
Um
helps find a lot of the oops, where did it go? D, our lovely editor. Everyone say thank you, D. She's amazing. One of the most valuable members of our community by far. She helps edit our articles and also find some of the social media posts to highlight in our articles. And she often goes to highlight some of the negative or most absurd reactions to this
right.
news. She's saying there was a lot of false flag attack talks on social. I believe it. Um,
Yeah.
and I've been talking to Armin about this recently, and sometimes I wish I lived in a world as simplistic as an anti-Semite. You know, is it I think it must be some form of bliss to live in a world as simplistic and smooth-brained as an anti-Semite's world. It must be so what I mean, it must be kind of distressing in the sense that you think that there's this, mass evil conspiracy in the world, blah blah blah, but at the same time it is comfortingly simple to just make it all about the Jews every time. Just make it all about the Jews every
I
time.
mean,
It's so
it
simple. I
makes it
mean,
easy to, it's like it's basically the utility is the same as God did it, right? It just
yeah.
simplifies things.
The Jews of the
Um
gaps. The Jews of the
the
gaps.
Jew, the Jews of, yeah, exactly. It's the Jews of the gaps. Wait, did you just come up with that?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Did you just come up with it? That's
yeah.
genius. Oh my god, that is genius. That is so genius. It is the Jews of the gaps. Wow. Yes.
Everything I
That
cannot
is impressive.
explain is the Jews. Guys, oh my god. YouTube, these are not our opinions. We're making a joke.
That is genius. Good job. I'm
That's why I
impressed.
got
I
so
am
excited.
impressed.
I'm like, oh my god, I've just hit gold.
Right.
Oh my
So
god.
there's another comment by Ehab saying, as expected, French police have arrested a 30-year-old Algerian man as a suspect who set fire on the synagogue in southern France. This is the first. This isn't the first time racist, anti-Semitic individuals have exploited Palestine's name and flag to conceal their vile actions. And this person responds, "LOL, how many Jews died? Zero." Okay, but it wasn't for the lack of trying, you idiot. And then
Because of
also
incompetence. Asshole.
and then it says, how many Palestinians were killed by Israel? Well, how many Palestinians were killed by Israel? It's the wrong question, because Israel was not trying to kill those Palestinians, except the Palestinians that were responsible for the terrorist attacks and them being terrorists themselves. The Palestinians, well, to be honest, many Palestinians were directly on purpose killed by Israel's military because they were terrorists, and good job, Israel. But the Palestinian civilians who died, are not because they were targeted by Israel, is because Hamas on purpose made it very difficult for Israel to be able to avoid them while taking out terrorists. So there's
But
the answer
Armin, we
to that.
shouldn't even play into that game. We shouldn't even play into that game. We shouldn't even play into that game, which is we're talking about what's happening within the French nation right now. Pull your head
Right.
out of your ass. We're talking about the concerns of French citizens right now. I'm not playing this game. We're not playing this game. What do French Jews have to do with the actions of Israelis? Give me a
Good point.
fucking
Good
break.
point. Yeah.
Stop fucking conflating these things.
That's actually a good
There,
point. I
there's
fell for the
no,
trap.
there's legitimately no reason to explain that. There is no reason to play into that game and explain it when we're talking about what's happening among French citizenry.
Yes, actually, you're right. If the question should have been zero, when you say like how many Palestinians have been killed by Jews, I'm like, you mean French Jews? Zero. Like, what do you think? Like, what does that got to do with anything? Yeah, you're right. Because by me explaining it, I'm giving into this collective mindset that, let's say, for example, let's say Israel is a criminal nation state and IDF is pure evil. Let's even say that's true. What does this got to do with French
French
Jews?
Jews.
Actually,
Yeah,
that's a very
fuck off.
good point.
So
That's a very
I'm
good
letting
point.
the language fly today. You know, I try to clean myself up and be a lady sometimes, and
That's good.
dealing with
Yeah.
the pure deficiency of anti-Semites just brings it out of me. I'm please pardon my impropriety. Um, you know, um, one thing I'm thinking of is and Armin has made this joke many times before, and I still believe it to be true, which is if these anti-Semitic conspiracy theories are true, guys, it's time to give up, pack it home, and just submit to the Yahud because they're too powerful. There are gods amongst men. If all of these beliefs are true, you might as if you can't beat them, join. Go ahead, Armin.
I actually, I I actually went and met with some Nazis, and I'm not insulting them. They call themselves Nazis, right? Like they did. Went into a meeting of with I was invited. I talked to them. I went and recorded my conversation with them. It was like I was in a group of like 10 or 12 Nazis, self-identifying Nazis that were saluting, doing the Nazi salute. They had books by Nazi thinkers and many other people there. They were talking about their ideas there, and I went there to interview them and record my conversation with them. And it was one of the most insane experiences I ever had in my life. I uploaded it on YouTube, and within seconds it was removed. So then I had to go and upload it on BitChute. If anyone wants to see it, like contact me. I will provide you a link. I'm not gonna provide a link to it on YouTube because YouTube might not like that, right? But one thing that they were saying constantly is about how the Jews are controlling the world and doing this and this and that. And you could see at some point in the conversation, I asked them, wait, then how are you the superior race? And they were all just dumbfounded. Like they were all, it was so amazing. I was like you're like, they were like, what do you mean? I'm like, you are Aryans and you are supposed to be the superior race, but you're telling me the Jews have managed to do this and control the world and they have so much power. Wouldn't that not make them the superior race? Like you are saying like how the Aryans have failed, how the white people are being weak and pathetic. I mean, if we wanted to follow your ideology, you guys seem to be, based on your own admission, to be pathetically weak, and based on your ideology you should be eliminated and the world should be given to the Jews. They are the strong ones. You advocate for removing the inferior race. Well, like, shouldn't you be advocating for eliminating yourself now, given that they seem to be the strong ones here? And also, why are you even fighting? They have, like, the way you talk about them, it seems like they have godlike powers. Like the most logical solution, like you are the way you're describing them, there is no point in fighting. Nobody could stand up to such a power that you're explaining to me. Wouldn't the logical solution to be just to submit to this, given that they are this powerful? And it was so amazing. It was such an amazing conversation. You
It's
should,
amazing.
yeah. So
What's really
yeah,
funny
yeah,
is
yeah.
we talk a lot about like extreme victimhood narrative on the far left, but the far right victimhood narrative is very underrated. You want to talk about a
Mm.
victim failure sexual inadequacy complex? Go look at the forums of these far right people. The sexual inadequacy is shocking. They're like, my failure as a man is because of the Jews. My
Yeah,
inability to get laid and be a Chad football player with a hot little white cheerleader girlfriend is because the Jews, they took that from me. I'm like, dude, that sounds like a personal problem. Like, are you, bro? That's embarrassing to admit. Like,
no,
yikes.
yeah. A
The other
Jew
funny
took my
thing,
girlfriend.
yeah, the Jews took my girlfriend. That didn't exist. Uh,
If I no, this is actually true. Like, there's
so
some of them
true.
say like, I don't have a girlfriend because the girlfriend that I was supposed to have was taken away by the Jews. You guys think we're making fun of this?
Manipulated into doing OnlyFans because they're all pornographers.
Yes, there are a lot of people on Twitter that are saying that the girls that they were supposed to be with have been taken away from them by Jews. This is not an exaggeration. There's a movement online of people claiming this. Oh yeah, go on.
Okay, one time I was bored and I spent an afternoon going through 4chan archives, and it was very interesting because I've never spent time on 4chan before. So I was going through these archives just looking at how these communities have these their own bizarre racial hierarchies. And one thing that I thought was so interesting was in amongst their racial hierarchy, there was a consistent admission that the Jews were very powerful, apparently, but also very strong, very educated, more accomplished, have contributed more to the world,
Better
more
at
powerful.
sex?
Yeah, well, they didn't go that far, but
No,
I was like,
no, I've
they
just
would
yeah, go on.
they would talk about how the Jews in their own way are so much more, for lack of a better term, like worthwhile than other races in their own um construction of the world. Smarter, have higher IQ, all this stuff. But then they still hated them. But I'm like, you guys think that they're way better than like most other ethnicities and nationalities, but you still hate them. It
It-
was I
You're
going
getting
through these forums, it was fascinating. I'm like, the math is all over the place here.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you sound like you're describing something not worthy of worshiping. Like, aren't shouldn't you guys be like making statues of Jews now and worshiping it now, given how powerful they seem to be?
Yeah, it was they
uh,
had a certain level of like um bitter respect for the Jews in a way. They're like, you know what?
right.
Like, we don't like it, but you guys have been successful in your deviant plans. And because we believe in like might is right, I have a certain level of like resentful respect for that. Meanwhile, these other races are just like literally mentally deficient. Like, yeah,
No,
bayonet.
not other races. Just the what they. But first of all, there's no such thing as the white race. Okay,
Of
I
course.
mean, even if this white people are a mix of different ethnicities, but even if there was, they don't claim other ethnicities are weaker. They say like everyone is getting it right except us. They're like everybody else knows what matters. It's just the white people who are getting it wrong. That's what they're seeing. That's what they're claiming. I like
Wait,
okay,
what
so
do you
you're
mean?
so they're saying like, oh, look at Muslim countries. They understand what brings you power. The Jews understand what gives you power. Indian people understand what brings you power. It's just the white people that are pathetically weak and don't understand what brings you power and have lost their way, right? So that's what they're saying.
Mm,
So
yeah.
basically, so
Because
basically, the problem, yeah, the problem with Adolf was that he picked their the most inferior, I mean, according to them, group as a superior. That's what you're saying. Telling to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
telling me.
Anyways, there are
But
people that have definitely studied these racial
I,
caste systems among these communities more thoroughly than me. But I was just like, this is bizarre and
I
fascinating.
just want I just want to clarify two things, one to YouTube and one to our audience. Okay, YouTube, we are against these anti-Semitic views. The reason why we're mentioning them is because we're ridiculing them, we're making fun of them. Okay, that's for YouTube. For if eventually somebody is reviewing this, a human is reviewing this. For our audience, when Susanna says far right, we're not using the word far right in the same way that a lot of people on media are using it. um, when it comes to people who are nationalist or patriotic or are concerned about a demographic or ideological shift in their country or protecting their border integrity or migration, or people who have a concern with Islam, we don't see that as a far right position. You guys are not being far right. You guys are just being patriotic. When we use the word far right, we're actually talking about, like, for example, Nazis, right? That's what we mean when we say far right. Okay, so
Like
just to be clear.
legitimate nativist racists.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's not something I use lightly. Oh my god, we have a lot of super chats to go through. So let's do
No,
these
we
super
just have
chats and
three.
then move to the next news. Um, but I just have to say once again, the sexual inadequacy complex of like legitimate Nazis is one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen in my life. So amusing.
Th- the thing is, this is not coincidental. Okay, the
No.
studies show is that sexual frustration is one of the main forces behind radicalization. Not just with Nazis, but also Islamic radicals are as well. A lot of it comes from sexual frustration. But yeah.
If you want an example of that, go read one of the granddaddies of Islamism, Sayyid Qutb,
Mm.
and his mental breakdown over seeing people at a dance hall in American church in the 1940s. If you want a textbook example of brain breaking sexual repression, I refer you to his writing. Oh, God. Okay. So let's go to the super chats. Kirka gave us 30 shekels. Thank you. Saying I always was against any persecuting of Holocaust deniers in Europe or the US because one, it's against free speech, and two, Israel government never had a problem with dealing with Arafat, Abu Nazem, and all those. Yeah, well, I don't think in the US we have any laws against Holocaust denial. That's not true in the US. In
Yeah,
France,
we don't have
sure.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
against
in
that.
Europe, yeah, we are against. Um, I mean, if it's wrong, just correct it. Just fight bad speech with good speech. Do not ban speech. Obviously, yeah, we agree with you, Kirk.
Yeah, I think you know, I don't on principle on its face, I don't like France's stance against the burning of national symbols as something that can be prosecuted under law. But if you're using that as a vector to identify who is against Republican values, then I start to see it actually being useful. But in a vacuum, in principle, I disagree with that as well. Um, Fedagan just became a new YouTube member. Oh, thank you, Fedagan, and welcome to Satan's Minions. Thank you for supporting the channel. Aiden gave 10 BAM. I don't know what currency BAM is. Saying another bonus for being anti-Semitic is you can make a lot more money from these videos and live streams. Anti-Semitism has become profitable. That's for damn sure. Um, or you can literally set up Adolf shops in Palestine and have that be the entire point of your business. Um, yeah, unfortunately, there is definitely a market for this. Oh, BA is Bosnia. So is Bosnian Marka. Interesting. BMA is Bosnia. Well, Hello to our community in Bosnia. Glad to have you.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.